Hey, podcasters, how you doing there?
Hopefully you had a chance to enjoy our shorter podcast from yesterday, but it was an amazing Giving Tuesday now. And thanks to all the podcast listeners who did support the riot by supporting RadioU when they donated yesterday.
I feel like we still had a pretty good, let me see. How long was yesterday's podcast? Stop.
Was it still a pretty good amount?
You know what? 36 minutes?
That's not bad.
On a in our normal podcast is somewhere between 45 minutes and an hour.
We tried.
So we did all right.
we tried to have that.
All right, so let's see. Today in the podcast, we talk about Twitter. We talk about Mother's Day. Did you forget? Somebody did.
I did. I actually didn't think it was this weekend. Now we remember, and our gifts have been purchased, and we're all set.
All set.
We're all good to go.
We see that Space Force trailer. We follow up on the Lamborghini Kid, Cinco de Mayo at home fundraisers where you buy dinner, but there's no dinner. The WWDC, Trump Bucks, iPad confessions, Tom Cruise movies, pee your pants challenges.
Tom Cruise in space.
In space.
You must include that with it. So I think, we had a lot of good stuff today.
Well, let's not call it good.
Let's
say there's a lot of stuff.
Sometimes all you guys want is to fill the time, right? And I think we'll fill the time adequately.
You know, Nikki, in these trying times
it's the best that you get.
I don't think we should judge our content. We just
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well, make sure you say hello. You can text anytime you want to, even if we're not in the studio. Just include your name. You text 877 to RadioU. Include your name, where you're at, and that you're a podcast listener, and then we'll see that when we come in next.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Okay. Enjoy the podcast.
The definition of insanity is putting the riot on again and again and expecting a better result. It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
So yesterday we didn't talk about it because Giving Tuesday, but did you see the trailer for Space Force yesterday?
I saw it trending, but I didn't watch it. Is that the Steve Carell one for Netflix?
It is.
It should be almost out, right?
Couple of weeks? Isn't it May? I think it might be Memorial Day weekend. No, it's after that, May 29th. I think Memorial Day is pretty early this year. I believe that to be like May 24th or something. So it's that week, but it's at the end of the week.
Because why would it be, earlier? Memorial Day is, the 25th.
Yeah, so Space Force was co-created by Steve Carell and Greg Daniels, who is one of the Office creators, which I always feel like is a little shady when you say that, because what they mean is the American Office creators.
Not the British.
Right. The Office was created by Ricky Gervais. Love him or hate him, or somewhere in between.
There's episodes of the early, the U.S. Office that are just word for word, basically, the British ones.
Almost the entire first season, actually.
So it's weird to watch.
Yeah. So Space Force is happening. And it's about Space Force.
Where's your Space Force music?
Oh.
Dun, 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 dun.
Sorry, I wasn't.
You've got to be prepared if you're going to talk about Space Force.
Is it
this one?
Space Force. You know, I feel like my reflection in the lack of music shows my lack of enthusiasm towards the trailer I saw yesterday.
Was it not so funny? And you waited too long to reply, so that's a yes.
I didn't laugh.
Aww.
The only time in the trailer that I laughed was at one point they're talking about Space Force and he chuckles and then he finds out that he's in charge of it. And I was like, okay, that's funny.
Well, what about it's a spin on a usual trailer? Normally in trailers, they put all the funny stuff in there. And then when you go see the show or the movie, there's nothing else that's funny.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't put any of it in. They want it to be a surprise.
Maybe. I will tell you the other thing that I really, really liked was that the guy's like, hey, how much they have a prototype that explodes.
Yeah.
He's like, how much was that? And the guy, I think he says 5. He's like, 5 billion? And he's like, no, 5 elementary schools. We could have built 5 elementary schools for what we spent on that.
Oh, gosh.
And when he says that, you're
is that how we're doing that?
That hurts.
Is that a measure? Like a unit measure? What is that?
That hurts a little bit.
Sure.
Well,
I mean, maybe it'll be good, maybe not. Don't expect anything, and you'll be pleasantly surprised if it is.
Well, if you're like us, you're already paying for Netflix, so whatever.
It doesn't matter. Why? This is where your money went, though. That is a little disappointing.
That email they sent last year talking about how lucky we were to pay more so they could make more.
Yeah, I guess that was not exactly the, what is that, the tone deaf one?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So that's the one. This is what they have created for us.
Maybe the Riot would sound better if they spent less time improving their lives at their gym. That was sarcasm. It's the Riot on Radio U.
So I was thinking today, or I guess it was actually yesterday, I saw a 5K had just converted over to a virtual 5K.
Which has been very popular during the stay-at-home stuff.
It has been, because 5Ks are fundraisers. You might just be thinking about it as another race to run, but they're usually an organization that's raising money for something, whether it's themselves or a cause or whatever. And so they still want those donations in order to make it work. They may have already ordered shirts, like all of this kind of stuff. That machine has to keep ramped up, right? So they're saying virtual 5Ks. Then I started thinking about it. Would I still run my virtual 5K, or would I be like, yay?
Look at what I did. I think it comes down to the honor system.
The honor system?
I think so. I don't know if you use a particular app or like they track somehow something.
I don't think so.
Well, they send you your bibs a lot of times ahead of time.
Right.
So maybe your bib, well, it doesn't track you automatically, but
not without the rest of the equipment.
It makes it feel like it's tracking you. So right. I don't know.
I'm just wondering, what's the percentage on that when it comes down to like, hey, we're doing this? How many people are actually
doing it? Well, it's not just 5Ks, half marathons and stuff are even doing it too. And I think even marathons, the longer the distance is, the more likely I would think cheating might come in.
See, I would think it would be the other way around.
You think so?
That the people who sign up for those long distances would be more dedicated, like more likely.
No, because it's your time to get in to say, oh, yeah, I did a marathon.
But no one has to know.
But no one has to know your little secret.
Like, yeah, look, I got the medal and the shirt. It was amazing.
I don't know.
I mean, it was hard. Don't get me wrong. And like around mile 20, I was just ready to give up. And I just didn't think I was even going to be able to do it. And it was just...
I might see it be, again, more cheating with the bigger ones.
I feel for 3 or 4 miles, it was just agony. But man, those last 2 miles, I don't know what happened. Runner's high, call it what you will.
Sure.
But something seemed to take over. And it was awesome.
But see, a lot of people do use trackers, at least on your watch or your phone or something. So it's that point where, are we going to be honest when no one's around to see? If the honesty tree fell in the forest and no one was there to hear it, does it make a noise?
Did it actually fall?
Did it actually run, or did we make it up?
Yeah. Well, I guess you're right. I guess it's just the honor system. So best of luck, everybody. I will say this. I ran a virtual marathon yesterday, and it blew my mind.
But you weren't signed up for anything, or you're just lying? You're just lying. You're fibbing. That's okay.
Am I?
Or did you?
Who are you?
Where's your medal?
To accuse me. I didn't think I was going to have to prove it.
You do. You have to.
So I didn't bring
You actually have to prove it, I think, somehow to the 5K race thing. You have to show them.
Well, you know what? I'll dig out the pictures. Like the GoPro's still... rendering. And then I'll show you.
If it's louder than it has to be and way worse than it has any right to be, it must be the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
All the rage in the news a day or two ago was the 5-year-old that stole his parents' car.
Oh, to go get the Lamborghini?
He wanted to go get a Lamborghini.
Sounds like a joke, doesn't it?
It does, but it's not. It's real.
And he went to go buy it for like $3 or something?
He had $5.
$5?
Yeah. I mean, so don't undersell the kid, Nikki.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's going to go buy a new car.
Yeah. So the police pull him over, and they're like, hey... obviously, we have a problem here.
He's on the freeway.
The freeway.
He made it to the freeway, but he was driving erratically because, can you reach the pedals at 5? Like, how do you even drive?
I have no idea how. I know this, though, that Adrian Zamaripa, he heard about... No, Adrian was the one that did it, and Jeremy heard about what Adrian did. Jeremy owns a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
So he called his parents, went down, and took him for a spin.
Don't encourage this. Don't encourage it. what he did was wrong. We can't just go bringing him the Lamborghini to try out.
Nikki, what we're trying to do is cast some vision. So for the rest of his life, his parents are like, if you apply yourself and you get a job and you blah, 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 then one day you can have your own Lamborghini, just like Jeremy did.
I think we need to remove the Lamborghini part and lift back to the why was he driving a car and focus on that.
I don't have the answer to that.
Let's speak up. It's not one of those, whoops, he got outside and was just walking around.
Maybe it is.
He's on the freeway.
Whoops, he got out.
Driving a car.
We have him in a cage in the basement, but sometimes he picks the lock.
How did he know?
A lot of ingenuity.
How did he know how to drive? How did he get that far?
I don't know. You figure maybe he was playing maybe he played some video games.
It taught him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that. But
I know we're supposed to be supportive, but there just seems to be a lot of problems with this story.
And the other thing, just to be clear, is he's going to turn 6 in June. So he's almost
6.
He's almost there. Yeah. So yeah, sometimes people get behind him. The other thing that I do think is worth noting is if you go to RadioU's Facebook page, facebook.com/RadioU. We posted this story like a day or two ago. Not the ride one, but when he was initially pulled over. It is one of the most disturbing photos I've ever seen.
What's
because
on the face? What is
it? Looks like he has an alien face that's like a bunch of teeth that wants to
No. You know what it looks like?
What?
It looks like one of those cookies that you put like ice cream on. It just looks like this cookie. When I was watching, I was looking, I was like, is that a cookie?
So what it is, they have just covered his face because it's, a news photo. He's under
young,
18.
Yeah.
And it looked terrifying to me. I was like, what is wrong with him?
How can he drive like that? He has no eyes.
It's no wonder. Somebody help him. Get him into surgery right now. Prep Op 5.
It is weird.
Yeah,
but that's
really
just
is.
to protect his identity.
Yeah, which, by the way, is everywhere now because his full name has been spread along with his photo in the Lamborghini. So
he must not have cared.
Yeah. Just to be clear, no one's ever bringing a Lamborghini to you for you to ride in.
That's because if you did, you get arrested.
That's right.
So I don't understand why we're just encouraging this.
We should have started earlier.
He doesn't need arrested.
That's the answer.
Did we sit down with his parents? Did we talk about why weren't you watching him? How did he get into the car? How did he know how to drive?
No, because at 5, everybody's all just like, wow, that's really great. You figured it out on your own?
But if you give him a couple of years, he would have gotten in trouble.
Huge trouble. They'd be like, yeah, you can't drive till you're 80. And you can't drive over 25.
We would give the Riot flowers to show our appreciation, but Obadiah's probably allergic. What isn't he allergic to? This is the Riot on Radio U.
I want to say hi to Jesse, who texted in and said, when I went to Menards, they were wiping down the keypad and touchscreen after every customer went through the line.
Oh, they were?
Well, that was nice of them.
And you have to wear a mask. If not, you have to buy one.
Yeah, you can't get in there without it having a mask on. So they're taking some things pretty seriously. Like Mother's Day, for example.
Did anybody else forget that Mother's Day is this Sunday?
I ordered a gift for my mom.
Yeah.
It won't get here until the end of May.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I haven't told her that yet. I'm going to have to. But yeah.
I'm sure she'll be okay.
Well, I mean, what are you going to do? And so I've seen my mom once since February, basically. So I don't know.
And technically, in our area, there's still the stay at home, so you're still not supposed to really get together with everybody.
No.
So can you even still see her?
I don't know. And she is immunocompromised, so she's not really supposed to see anybody.
Can you just send her? Well, does she do email? Or can you print the receipt out from a respectable distance and it's this is what I've gotten you.
Look,
it'll be here in a few weeks.
I thought about, I don't know, putting something on her porch.
Yeah, maybe bring food or something.
The thing is, then I've touched it.
Well,
right?
I mean, you can, I don't know then. Don't know what to do. It's what was the other Easter? Easter was a holiday where this was all still going on and you couldn't really do much.
Yeah, for Easter, I got a piece of candy. That was Happy Easter.
You had to buy it yourself?
I bought myself a piece of candy, and I was like, he's risen indeed. Peanut butter.
Aaron texted and said you can make your mother a gift. But how do you...
Make her a gift?
How do you get her that? And what are we talking about making her? We're still a few days away.
Man, I'm not making it.
And
I don't even know how to make anything.
How do you get the items in order to make it?
Okay, how about this? What if we just go around the house, see what you can find, make something.
Like a gift basket?
You put it in a box where it sits for 3 days. Okay? And then you you wipe down the outside of the box. Mm-hmm. You put on a hermetically sealed suit of some kind. You get it over to her. You get it on the porch. Then you call her from down the street and say, hey, the thing I made you is on your porch. It has not had human contact in 72 hours.
Well, you had to contact it to bring it over?
No, because you're in that hermetically sealed spacesuit thing that we all have.
But we're going to have to wait till June to get that delivered. If not, you have to take it to her house, leave it sit there, hope no one steals it.
Yeah.
And then she can enjoy it on Sunday.
That's a big if, too.
If not, everybody's just going to be honking all day as they pass by their mom's houses.
The drive-by!
It might have to be that.
Whee!
Or you just drive by and then just throw the items right out the window. So it is just a reminder, Mother's Day is Sunday.
Yeah. And there's not time to have anything shipped.
No, there's not.
I'm just...
What are we supposed to do?
Just letting you know.
Oh, right. It's fine.
There is not time
to have anything brought at all. Well.
That time is done. You should have ordered it at the beginning of the crisis.
I told Obi I was noticing some ads even into last week, and I was like, man, why are they just so early? And I totally forgot that it was coming this weekend.
Yeah, it's weird. Normally by now, Nikki and I would have started a countdown to Memorial Day, and I have to keep reminding myself that's coming.
That's not even...
Hey, an extra day to sleep in, I'll take it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We won't be in that day.
I'll take it.
So that's why we're counting down.
Yeah! You were one of the lucky few who missed the riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Saw an article last week. Twitter is doing better than it ever has. They've had more new signups. Twitter is growing leaps and bounds during this time of crisis.
Because a lot of times they don't gauge it by usage. It's if they actually get new users, and normally they do not. It's not a platform that a lot of new people sign up for.
Most people think it's done growing, and Twitter's like, nah, man, we just had our best quarter ever.
Well, good for them.
They're still not profitable. They can't seem to make any money on it. But
that's a lot of bigger things like that.
Yeah, more people are signing up than ever. And so this morning, as I was on Twitter, which is something that I don't like it as much as I used to. There was a time when I was just such a huge fan of Twitter, and the way they have changed up their algorithms, showing me things I don't want to see, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, not from people you're following, but just from random things?
And it doesn't matter. They're like, you can turn that off. Yeah, sure you can. I've turned it off lots of times.
Wink.
Only to find it mysteriously back on now.
Turn back on again.
How did that happen? I don't know.
Yeah, but it usually has its times during political seasons, and I bet you with just the Corona stuff, it's just that's where people go and get their news.
From behind the COVID curtain, we are all checking the Twitters. I was just checking in on a few people today, reading their Twitters, and it's funny how people tweet. A lot of complaints. I appreciate complaining with humor. That's one of my favorite things in the entire world. But just looking through where people complaining or using it as a safety valve of oh, I'm so anxious right now. I'm so this right now. Nothing wrong with that. It's fine. You tweet what you tweet. I don't think that's a bad thing. But here was something that I was thinking. What if we turned some of our tweets into prayers? Meaning this, God is listening. Jesus loves you. He wants to get involved in your life. What if you started turning to God and saying, God, I'm so anxious today. My anxiety is killing me. God, are they ever going to deliver my food right now? That's another tweet I saw.
Did you see that one?
God, can you believe all the weight that Adele lost? Okay, some of that may seem a little ridiculous, but think about this. The stuff where you're just ooh, I got to tweet this. What if you turn to God with your anxiety? With your happiness, with your stress, with your whatever. What if you talk to God the way that you tweeted? You're well, that would be disrespectful. No. What if we left respect to the side for a little bit? What if we decided that we were going to be honest with God today about how we felt and about what was going on? And we actually talked to him the way we would talk to a friend on that gut level of hey, this is the stuff that I'm dealing with. I think you would be surprised, one, at just how much Jesus really does love you. Not in that weird, generic, God cares about you and your situation. And two, the way that God can get involved. And admittedly, there are times when God kind of changes me or just helps me get through. Then I've had times where circumstances change. But I know this, that when I ask God to get involved, I've never been like, well, that was stupid. No, it's always been a good thing. So look, whatever it is that's got you so up in a that you're going to tweet or whatever about it, talk to God about it first and say, God, this is where I'm at. It might cut into some of your tweets. You might feel a little better when you get done and you don't tweet as much, but I think that's okay.
How to survive the riot. Do the complete opposite of everything they say. You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
You know, Nikki, here on this show, we like to highlight brave Americans doing brave things.
Of course.
And you might recall the tale of Shelley Luther. I think that was Lex's little girl. She grew up and started that hair salon.
Oh, the lady in Texas.
We talked about her last week, and she actually said she's willing to go to jail for this.
And did they decide on that yet?
She opened her hair salon. She got arrested.
She'd been opening it, and it'd been open long enough to where she was receiving, what is it, where they tell you to stop those
Cease
orders?
and desist.
Yeah, those orders. And she said, I'd send me to jail then if you're going to.
She said she was willing to go to jail. She's opening her salon. And she must have been getting business. So police came and arrested her, and she had her day in court yesterday. Man, what the heck? So many people wait like a year. 3 years. I mean, like
they're making a statement with her.
Who was that? Like Lori Loughlin and the college admissions thing where it's like 14 years later, they're still working on that. This lady, her turnaround was like that. Boom. So
even during, well, I think Texas is open now, but most places courts are down. So
also true. So the judge said to her, look, here's what's going to happen. You're in violation of court order. So you're in contempt of criminal and civil court. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to fine you $7,000 and you're going to spend 7 days in jail. Or you can admit to the court that what you're doing is selfish and it all goes away.
And guess what she chose?
She said, and here's the quote, I have to disagree with you, sir, when you say that I am selfish because feeding my kids is not selfish.
She said that she needed that to stay open, and so she's taking the jail?
She's taking the jail and the fine.
7 days.
Shut up.
Now, again, most people, maybe not necessarily in Texas, but a lot of jails are overcrowded to where you would go in for this and you wouldn't stay the full 7 days.
Right.
But are they still making a point to showcase her story, and are they going to give her all 7 days?
Hey, I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up spending 7 days in jail, or maybe even longer. They'll be like, we going to show everybody how it is.
She was sentenced to 7 days and $7,000, which equals $500 for every day she had opened her business.
You know what? I am of mixed thoughts on this. There's an element of like, yeah, stick it to the man. Then there's an element of just like, what are we doing?
Well, she's got to, she said the reason why.
I'll just tell you, and I'm completely serious about this, I just can't decide. Like, I just can't. I can't figure out whether I'm like, yeah,
well, I think
or no.
It's not for us to decide, though, in her case, because we're not in her shoes.
I get that. I know. But, I can't even, in my own opinion, like, it's not that... you do what you want. It's a free country. Do what you want. But, I can't decide how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Because intellectually, my brain, it just feels like it's split right in half, and it can't decide.
So in Texas, phase one of their reopening started last week, but that still does not include salons. So that's why she was picked up for that.
She said, it was a little unfair the way that they were handling that.
Well, yeah, just a tiny bit. But, she said she's has to disagree with him. And they said they have hairstylists that are going hungry because they need to feed their kids.
Well, you know what? I'm done. No further comment.
That's the safer thing to be. Safer statement.
And it's tough because I am the son of a hairdresser.
Mm-hmm.
My mom cutting the hair is what, made me into the man I am today.
The Riot really wanted to do this live, but now they can play video games and eat rice cakes instead. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Tomorrow is the day. Man, today sucks, but not tomorrow, guys.
What do we get tomorrow?
Tomorrow we're going to get the Xbox 2020.
Hey, 2020. Is there more details?
So Xbox 2020 is a new monthly event that Microsoft will be holding for the rest of, wait for it, 2020.
Oh my gosh, the whole year.
Wow.
So are they going to give more updates on the new Xbox console?
So they say every month they will be out there doing kind of like a Nintendo Direct. It'll be their own little video presentation in which they'll talk about the new Xbox.
Does Nintendo do that each month, or is it just whenever?
No, it's just whenever. They'll just be like, we're having a Nintendo Direct, which is what they call it. And they typically give you a day or two notice, and then they tell you whatever. I think that's kind of a quarterly thing for them. I don't know if that's officially true, but it seems to be.
Well,
something
Microsoft decided they want to do it more.
Well, monthly, there's
makes sense.
There's no E3 this year, the Electronics Entertainment Expo. And so this gives them a chance to show off the new Xbox. So now I don't know what all we are going to see tomorrow, but I do know that the rumor, and I don't know if it's rumor, it may be confirmed, is we will see Assassin's Creed, the new one, tomorrow playing on an Xbox Series X, which is the new Xbox. So we'll get a chance to see just how pretty and fancy they can make it.
How to look.
In the meantime, where are you at, Sony?
There's plenty of time.
I know
Don't push them. There's plenty.
You're right. There's time.
Everybody's figuring it all out, all right?
Nikki.
All while everybody just wants to know how much are you supposed to be saving up for it.
Don't defend them.
I'm not defending them.
You're defending
I'm just
them.
telling them.
Don't defend them. Okay?
Now, these are supposed to be out October, November. No one knows yet.
Holiday 2020.
Holiday of this year.
Yeah. So, no, Holiday 2020.
Halloween is a holiday. So technically, there's a lot of options.
Holiday 2020 is a new holiday that's coming in 2022.
2022. It's been pushed back.
It is a holiday where you celebrate the year 2020 many, many years from now.
Well, you just can't do it now.
Yeah, but that's the word. Holiday 2020, and we're going to get it's all third-party stuff. They say in July. When is that? It's pretty soon. That's the one where they're going to show you first-party games that will be coming from Microsoft this fall.
So just so I could follow with this, are we wanting this one, or are we wanting the Sony one? Are we wanting the PlayStation? Are we sticking to PC gaming? What are we doing here?
My plan is to get a PlayStation 5.
That one, okay.
And the reason being, as of right now, that's kind of what I'm thinking. The thing about the Xbox is I have a computer, which... it's good enough. It's not the best of the best.
You put a lot of money in your computer.
But that's the thing that I like. And so Microsoft has already said every game they release going forward that's a first-party game is going to be on PC. So I kind of don't need an Xbox. I mean, they're nice.
And again, we're saying this now, but who knows?
Yeah, don't hold me to it.
I know. But let me just bring this quote back up every time we want to decide we want it in the future.
I'm more interested in just getting a look at the games that are coming to Xbox. And so we're going to get a look at some of that tomorrow, and whether, these new consoles are supposed to be so fancy. So show me how fancy it is, guys. I'm ready. Point me to fancy.
Things are never as bad as they seem, except when it comes to the riot. Then, they're worse. They're always worse. It's the Riot on Radio U.
So yesterday was Cinco de Mayo.
Much appreciated.
I meant to ask anybody, did they do Mexican food for dinner? Because a lot of people I heard from, it was just impossible to get.
That's what I thought. I was like, dude, I'll bet you... Okay, for me, I used to get my Cinco de Mayo out at lunch.
Yeah.
So it was like we here at the station, we would all go out to a Mexican restaurant, being cliche as ever, because that's how we roll. But it was still
delicious and wonderful, and we always did it.
And we would typically beat the rush, get our food, get out. And I thought last night, I didn't do this, but I thought about it. I was like, dude, there's no way anybody... You'll order Mexican now, and you're going to get it next week.
Well,
that's how many people.
A lot of places just stopped taking orders.
They're just done.
Taco Bell had their deconstructed taco.
Yeah, their taco bar
kit thing that you could buy that was in honor of Cinco de Mayo, and they ran out at most places. So it was super difficult to be able to get anything delivered. So I was curious if anybody actually managed to get something yesterday.
Well, I did, but it wasn't,
during dinner?
Official. No, I'll tell you what I did. I made nachos last night.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, so
Fun.
I made a nacho cheese dip and taco meat. And so I took a plate full of nachos, and then you warm them up just a little bit.
Tiny bit.
Then spread the cheese over it, and it's a liquid cheese that's very good. And then put the taco meat on top of that, and then...
It was delicious.
It was delicious.
So Kyle texted, he said, we made homemade walking tacos with nacho cheese Doritos.
Okay, that's a great
Good
choice.
call. But again, did anybody manage to score it delivered from like a place?
Or, restaurant food?
It seems like most people had to actually just make it because they just couldn't do it.
Ashley says she managed to get Mexican lunch at work yesterday.
Nice.
To me, that's the safe bet. That's your best bet. You know what? When this is all over, we should go back to, remember the place down there that we used to go to, the Mexican place by the UDF?
Yeah, okay.
That was good. That was good. Here it comes.
I wasn't always a fan.
They
made too many changes from some classic recipes. I didn't care for it as much.
I liked it. And I liked the chips.
Zach texted and said they ordered at 4:00. The food was ready at 5:30.
That's not too bad.
But that was ordering early. Not everybody eats that early. So the place was crazy busy, though.
Keith says Mexican for lunch yesterday. And it was delicious. Andy says the wife made home enchiladas and queso.
That was good.
That's not so bad.
So I figured everybody enjoyed the Cinco de Mayo yesterday, but I was just reading everyone's stories of how difficult it was to get a hold of it.
And
unless you made it yourself.
It was only Americans celebrating yesterday because remember, in Mexico, Cinco de Mayo means very little.
Just a here thing.
Yeah. But it is really a great day for Mexican restaurants in the United States.
I wonder if, again, coming out of this quarantine, will we go any place or have we figured out to make our own coffee? When you celebrate, you make your own food that day. We just do it on our own.
I don't know. I'm still not ready to go back into a restaurant. I should be, but I'm not.
Kyle just texted and said we had just chicken wrapped bacon and kettle chips for dinner. So no Cinco de Mayo celebration.
I don't know. Chicken wrapped bacon with kettle chips? They probably have that in Mexico, right?
Not a traditional dish for the day.
Sure.
But still good.
Nikki, America's just a big melting pot. So we're just taking a little something from everywhere and putting some bacon around it, eating it.
Sounds perfect.
Using advanced technology, we've digitized and transcoded Obadiah and Nikki into a purely digital format. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
It costs a lot of money to run a presidential campaign. So they do fundraisers. And then they take that money and then they owe you a favor once they become president. Oh, sorry. I'm not supposed to say that. But it's true. So
if the person you donated to.
Right, if they win.
If they win.
So Hillary Clinton is going to help raise money for Joe Biden if he becomes the Democratic nominee, which is, even though he is not officially that nominee yet, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion. It's at the actual convention that they accept the nomination and officially become the party nominee. But she is going to be doing a fundraising dinner. It's $100,000 a head.
Whoa, what?
To come to the fundraising dinner.
Is it a virtual one?
Yep. So you're paying $100,000.
I'm sorry, what?
You're paying $100,000 to attend a dinner where there's no dinner and you're at your house and it's a Zoom call.
So wait, do you think, though, that, I don't know the details, like the specifics of it, but I know, like, you're only allowed to donate so much money to campaigns. Is dinner's a way around that? So
there must be it's got to be a thing.
I'm paying for the dinner and it's to such and such campaign, but it's not like if I just donated to a campaign.
Probably.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I'm just trying to think of why else would they.
Well, Nikki, this is where they get a chance to meet one-on-one with some constituents that really have some money. And
they only do that, though, with people that really have a lot of money.
Right. And then typically in those small settings where big amounts of money are going on, they make
favors are asked. Yeah.
Believe it.
It's shady. It is shady.
But this one will be on Zoom, so they won't get into the really shady stuff.
What if everybody can break into the call for free?
Would you want to? I'll tell you what, Nikki. I can get you in that call for free. Are you interested?
I don't like anything to do with any of that stuff. So no, I probably would not.
That's what I thought. I didn't think you'd actually be up for it. It sounds like something you'd be up for.
Just to see if we could.
Right.
But I don't really want to sit there and hear any of it.
$100,000 is a lot for a meal.
You're not even getting food.
That's what I was going to say. It's a whole lot more when you're not even getting anything to eat.
Tell me at least they deliver food to you, like through some like local place. You're getting at least something to eat.
Well, isn't that a good question? I don't know. Probably not.
Probably not, but it would be interesting. They must love this, though, because they can open that up to then not just a local area.
Yeah. Now, to be clear, there are other levels of giving available. You can do 100,000. You can do 50,000.
What gets me the tote? The reusable lunch tote.
They have what they call a limited availability slate, which that's not a thing. You're online. There is no limited availability.
Unlimited.
$2,800. So that's the bottom rung. But let's be clear. You're going to be lucky to get a video feed at all.
Sure.
So,
well, that's a pass, but interesting that the traditional fundraising
struggling just a tad
is now going to be going to the virtual Zoom call luncheon instead of the dinner instead of the normal way. $150,000 per person.
Whoa. Whoa.
It's fine. Oh, I can feel it from here. I can feel all that going on. And it doesn't feel honest. It just doesn't.
Oh, man.
But that's just how it always is.
It's tough. It's all a scam. All of it. It's like the two-party system, the fundraising. Like, it's a scam, which is why I'm putting all my money into video games.
Oh, that'll be smarter, won't it?
That's a smart investment.
That'll get you something back, I bet.
That and YouTube videos, they teach me the truth about what's really going on.
Is it healthy eating so many snacks, chips, and Oreos every single morning? No, of course not. But they do it for you.
Too many guys got the stomach for this line of work.
That's real love. It's The Riot on Radio U.
Coming up on June 22nd, Nikki, Apple is going to be doing the opposite of what...
Are they taking away stuff?
No.
What are we getting?
Well, maybe that would be the opposite. They're somewhere in the middle. They're doing something free. It's not $100,000 for a meal you won't eat.
What are they doing?
The Worldwide Developers Conference will be online, and it's free to everyone. So if you want to participate in Worldwide Developers Conference, you can online for free.
Now, by participating, that just means watching it, right?
Basically. So there will be, like a keynote address. There will be other people there that will be doing like workshops and the kind of stuff you find at a conference. And I mean, I've seen that both ways. Conferences can be amazing. And then there are also times when you go and you're like, I could have gleaned all of this from either A, YouTube video, or B, a 3-point poorly written article.
About someone who did attend.
Yeah.
And you just read what they, gleaned from it.
So it really does depend. The other thing is most of the time you go to conferences to network or to meet people or whatever. And
they're just taking that away. Will they? I wonder if at that point they'll even be able to allow people live to be there.
No, there won't be.
Okay, so it all will just be that way?
It's all going to be online. You imagine the support staff or whatever will be there, but no, it will be completely online.
That might be fun to check in. If not, like you said, we'll just, when it's over, read people's thoughts on it.
The biggest problem that I have with something like that is like, I just don't want anything. Like, I'm good.
That might change. Just don't close that door yet.
Like, maybe they can come up with something you'll want.
Maybe they'll release something fun and fresh and new.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. That sounds great.
So let's not close those possible purchasing doors until we get closer to it.
I will say I wouldn't even be remotely surprised if they announce some sort of new iPad or something because iPads are on clearance everywhere. So that's usually a good sign that they are about to.
But that's how it always goes. I mean, this is the season where they do, because they always come out with a new one right after. I want something new. Just give me something fun. Not too expensive. Some little gadget or something like that. No, I don't know what it is, but give me something.
Nikki, our problem is that we lived through what will be remembered as some kind of golden age.
The heyday of all that?
Yes, where and in a lot of ways, Apple, like you go back to the iPod, and from iPod to iPhone to iPad, I'll even throw in the Apple Watch. They had a real run there. It's over.
Now we've leveled out, and
we have.
I just want something new.
You suddenly realize that your phone's good enough, that this is good enough is always the enemy of great, Nikki. And that's That's the fight they're having to fight now,
We
right
can
now.
even go back to like what happened to those glasses we were supposed to have where your schedule pops up and all this. Like, what are we doing?
I don't even know if I want those.
Where are we at with new things?
I've gotten to the point now where I'm tired of being notified of things. I don't want to be notified.
Well, that's true. And you're wearing glasses already, but if they could incorporate somehow into the glasses.
The idea that people's text messages and tweets would show up in my glasses sounds like a nightmare.
But they said that if we had them, we could watch a Netflix movie on one of our lenses while we were in a meeting. Do you remember that?
Nikki, I have a hard enough time paying attention to you talking while we're doing this show.
Let alone having a movie going on.
And that's no reflection of you. That is completely a reflection of me. The last thing I need is one more screen showing me a movie while you're talking.
But I'm pretty good at multitasking. I think I can handle it. So let's not say no.
You know what? You're probably right.
Maybe it'll work out.
Maybe you can handle it.
So when is the Apple press conference stuff?
June 22nd.
June 22nd. It'll be all online.
They also have a little something called the Swift Student Challenge, which is something that last year 250 people attended, but it sounds like a lot more can do it online this time. You have to submit that up by May 17th.
If you want to be a part of it.
If you want to be a part of that.
If you missed out on the next Riot moment when it originally aired, you don't know how lucky you are. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So I've heard people talking today, one being our friend Nick, saying that there is a school in Montana that may be opening up this week.
So would that be what did they say, the first one? Or
Yeah, the Cohagen Elementary School, kindergarten through 8th grade. Whoa. In this school, they have 14 students.
in the whole school or just the grade? Even that would be shocking.
This says 14 students.
Oh, no wonder they are. Are they under the limit, or depending on the state and how many people can gather together? I think they're fine.
I guess so.
Did schools close across the United States, even if a state wasn't under a stay-at-home?
I think all the schools in the U.S. are closed. I don't know that, but I think they are.
Because were there a couple of states that didn't, close down things officially, or
right? There were some that had different levels of stay-at-home. Like I read an article yesterday, that like, we're the 5 governors that didn't close our states, and then
so
you read
in those states, did they close schools?
Oh, but then you read the article and they're like, wow, we didn't completely close. I mean, like we had the thing that people are like, oh, okay. So like you didn't issue a stay-at-home order, but you closed everything.
But maybe in this one, they're just stating that, they had them closed and that's the first one in that. But that's a tiny school. It's not even a school.
It's wild. It's in Montana. So do you think, like, if that's you, do you think you're like really mad that you're going back to school? Or is it like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen another person in 7 weeks?
No offense, but if that was your school that you were going to in the first place, yours is a different setup anyways.
Oh, yeah.
Like at that small of a school, that's weird.
Do you have anybody in your grade?
Yeah, that maybe not.
Do you?
But you going to school is just a different experience compared to a much larger school.
You're like the senior. The graduating class is you.
You could physically distance and be just fine. Where a lot of schools, that's the big issue. You just could not go back to classes and be like, it's not. Normally, schools are set up to cram as many of us as possible in the room.
Yeah.
It's a complete opposite thing now. They're trying to figure out how to not have that many people.
I'll tell you right now that I hear rumors among the peoples that you actually won't, in most states, you will not see a return to face-to-face instruction until January of next year.
Don't spread those rumors. Don't say that.
That's the rumor that I hear.
Okay, so this school, though, this one's different. It's kindergarten through 8th grade. So it's
kindergarten
lower.
through 8th grade, and they have 14 students.
Wow. They'll have 6 students, I think, attending starting on Thursday. So maybe not even all of them.
Not even all of them are back.
So it looks like
half our student body is returning.
No, it looks like in Montana they're at least starting to open up soon if the school is under 100 students.
All right. Well, Montana, you know how it is. They're out there.
Have we been to Montana before? I can't remember.
I don't think I've ever been in Montana. The only thing I really know about Montana, it's big. I don't think it has a speed limit. And that guy.
Yeah. I think you can drive like when you're younger.
And I heard that guy in Hunt for Red October, he wanted to go to Montana and have 2 wives.
This is where all of our Montana facts come from.
That's all I got.
But I think it looks like it's beautiful there.
You know what? Probably, sure.
There's not a lot of people messing it up, so.
Exactly right.
It looks lovely.
Are people really still listening to the Riot? You don't have work to do or laundry to fold or literally anything else to do? The Riot, Radio U.
So apparently, Nikki has recently come into some money.
My stimulus checks got deposited earlier today.
So you're rolling in it now.
We're rolling. What do we want to do?
What are you going to get?
I am going to save for now
No,
and
you're
just
not.
let it sink in. And no, I still going back and forth between Nintendo Lite. I want to get into Animal Crossing. I only got into the iPhone one, but I didn't really care for that as much. But if you start your Animal Crossing on one thing, it has to stay there.
It has to stay there.
And that a lot of people are annoyed by that. So I don't want to just start on because I have a big Switch, Eric and I do. So I don't want to just start there if I'm going to get a light or just not get the light.
So you just want to go after the show today or like?
To where? We're not going anywhere yet.
No, you go to Best Buy and you get in line.
And I get in line?
You order it online and then you get in line. And then when they come out and they bring it to you.
They'll bring it to me. I don't know.
Well, you can also go to Target. Because as long as your Target sells food, which they all on some level do, right?
Then they were always open.
You can go into Target and get yourself something nice.
I still think I want to save it for a few days and let it settle into my banking account and just wait.
Get mossy.
Yeah, just get comfortable so we can decide how much and if we want to get rid of any of it.
Okay. I think you need it.
To save it? Yes, you're right.
No, to spend it.
To spend it.
Nikki, the economy needs you to stimulate
I'm
it.
not going to fall for that.
You need to stimulate.
I've been spinning, and that's why we need to take a break.
No, you need to stimulate something other than the DoorDash like food delivery industry.
Between DoorDash and Amazon, it's just been bad. Very, very bad.
But, get yourself something nice.
But I was glad to see at least it got deposited into my account so I can just not worry about that.
No, now you can start spending it. Oh, yeah.
We'll wait and we'll see what we want to do.
All right.
Text me if you have any ideas, guys.
Let's all spend Nikki's stimulus money together.
No, but we can have ideas on if I do spend any of it, what I should be purchasing.
Have you ever thought about giving that money to a friend? A coworker, perhaps?
A coworker, perhaps? No, you're going to get your own stimulus money.
Well, but the thing is, I could invest it properly. Like, for example, think about Obadiah Plays and the shot in the arm it could have with a new 2080 Ti.
Is that what you want? Why don't you spend your money on that?
No, I feel like that's a Nikki money purchase.
Don't think it is.
All right.
I did donate to Giving Tuesday Now yesterday, so it can go towards that.
Here we go. Look how great I am.
That was important to support yesterday if people missed out on.
Yeah, okay. Oh, there it is. Aaron's got it.
What did Aaron say?
You go ahead and take a look, Nikki.
Well, let's see. Oh, no, we're not buying Crocs. We've talked about this, guys.
Save the money. We're going Croc shopping.
I think someone told me they're only like $40 or something. They're always on sale during the stay at home, but
Perfect.
I don't want to yet.
We'll go in there and just be like, Nikki's an essential employee.
You go in there and you put, what is it when you sweep the shelf and just buy them all?
That's it.
Buy the whole store.
I'll have all of them. I'm rich.
Feel free to text other ideas.
My Uncle Trump bought me some shoes.
You can text us anytime, actually about anything. 877-2-RADIO-U, or if you join us at Radio U Riot, that's our Facebook page.
Worst of the Riot podcast.
You know what, Nikki? I just want you to know that in all this talk and all this mockery of Nikki's money, I did buy an iPad. It happened.
Oh, no.
It happened. You know what? Don't even feel bad about it.
Don't even care.
No, I'm actually really glad. I'm looking forward to getting it. I'm going to have to wait. I think it's going to be like a week and a half before it actually gets here. But
so you were going to buy one on Monday and then you canceled it. Was it Monday?
What's today?
Today's Wednesday. Then yesterday we had Giving Tuesday Now. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And then today, so you bought a new one today?
No, I ended up buying it on Monday. I actually had a friend, a close associate of mine, that talked me into it. They were just like, why aren't you doing this? You have the money for it. You want it. You're, why not? What are you going to do?
They're super cheap right now.
They are. I actually got a 128 gig one as well. So like I got the full storage and all that kind of stuff. And so I am really excited about it. One of the issues that I have is, and this is probably the most important part, is at night, I like to lay in bed and scroll through Reddit for roughly 5 hours. And
you want to make sure you can do that with the greatest of ease.
No, there's something with no matter how many times I do it or reformat or whatever, I cannot get the Reddit app on my Android tablet crashes all the time.
So now you're done with Android then. That was your last.
No, I still have an Android TV.
Well, no, I mean, but you have an Apple TV, don't you? Or did you get rid of that?
No, I have both.
You have both. Okay.
Well, there are two TVs.
There's two TVs.
I have an NVIDIA Shield upstairs and an Apple TV downstairs.
But as far as like the tech stuff, the handheld
I hate saying this stuff out loud.
Well,
you're just like, man, welcome to Privilege Town. Welcome to First World Problem Town.
We all live in that town, all right? We're all in that area. It's fine. But now, like, basically out of, like, tablets and phones and laptops, you're all Mac now.
Yeah, I am, weirdly enough. Like, it just kind of, you know what? It just happens over time. You wander back, and then eventually I'll wander back the other direction. Do you know what a lot of it comes down to? I don't like fixing things anymore.
You just want to sell it and get a new one?
Well, no, it's not that. It's just that, you know, for example, like, I want to pick something up and I want it to work. And people are like, yeah, but with Android, there's so much customization. I don't even want to customize it. Just whatever. Like, but don't you want to be able to put this here? No, I don't care. I mean, I am sure there are things in life I'm opinionated about and care about. I know they're out there. I know I've got buttons that can be pushed.
But
I'm
not
sure I do.
On this one.
But I'll just tell you, I feel like my number of buttons is just greatly reducing to where I'm just getting to the point where it's like, I just don't even care. Where do you want to put the chair? I don't care.
I don't care.
What color do you want this to be? I don't care.
Well,
what do you want? I don't care.
How about we just say congratulations on the addition to your new tech family?
So, Nikki, I just want you to know that I bought a tablet, and that's stupid. All right? And so if you want to buy a Switch Lite,
another,
that's stupid.
That's stupid.
But you know what? You do you.
I'm still deciding.
You get that Animal Crossing, and you get in debt to Tom Nook, all right? And then you dig yourself out of that bell hole, all right?
And I put in more effort into that world right now, and I enjoy that world more.
You do it, man.
Oh, well, good for you then. I'm glad you got that.
I'm weirdly excited about it.
When does it come?
I probably like the end of next week. I should have, if I hadn't canceled my first order, it would be here today.
From your first tablet marriage?
From my first marriage.
From your first order.
But
the
instead,
company that you bought it from must have been like, so what's he doing?
No, I had to. American Express was like, what are you doing?
I know. They're like, why are you buying this again?
Like, I'm sorry, Dad.
I didn't know, but now I really want it, and so I'm getting it.
And if anybody's wondering, I only put it on my Amex because I get fuel or whatever rewards.
How very grown up.
It's all a scam.
You're listening to a morning show hosted by two people who absolutely despise getting up in the morning.
Will you give me a break one time?
The Riot, RadioU.
It's a little embarrassing, but Nikki and I are kind of Tom Cruise fans.
Are we? Well, Mission Impossible fans.
No. Start clicking back through, and you're like, oh, but I also liked the Day Tomorrow, Live, Die, Repeat.
That's an amazing movie. But that was, that story, that had good legs to start off with.
Pretty soon it starts to look like we like Tom Cruise.
I don't know. What else is there?
It starts taking that look.
No, what else is there?
That's all he's made.
No, he's made more than that.
Like what? Jack Reacher? Those sucked, okay? There.
All right, well, that's a no. And then if you go back, he made plenty of other movies before then. We just really like Mission Impossible movies.
Lately.
Is all he does.
You and I seem to have a problem.
I think he's a good fit for that role, and I think that's the only line of movies that I've ever seen that's gotten better as they make more and more.
I agree with you. Now, Nikki, here's the deal.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is going to make a movie in space.
Oh, I don't like space movies.
Apparently, but here's the thing.
What is it going to be?
You need a movie that looks like it's in space? No.
Is he filming in space?
Tom Cruise has been talking to...
He's an overachiever.
He is.
He always does that.
He has been he's been talking to Elon Musk, and they are in discussions with NASA to film a movie in and around the International Space Station.
All right.
Xenu's coming, baby.
Good for that, but no other like details on the actual story? Just that it would actually be shot in
Just
space?
That was okay. It was this thing yesterday where you're like, yeah, sure, filming in space. Didn't one of those boy band guys try to go to space? Like, whatever, space. But then NASA tweeted and confirmed. They're like, yes,
we are
talking to them about doing a movie at the International Space Station.
So I wonder if you took a step back and watched it compared to another space movie. Like, would you be able to feel something or know something? Or when you watch it, will it be different knowing that this person's actually in space compared to us when we watch movies? This is the only version of someone being in space that we really know.
Well, if you watch like actual footage from space,
which I try not to.
Right. But I highly recommend there are several IMAX movies that were actually shot in space that are just, it's amazing to see. Even if that's not your thing, and I know it's not, Nikki, there's still something truly amazing about it. And one of the things that is, we do a lot of simulated weightlessness for films, but when you see actual weightlessness, it has a different look than how we simulate it. We have seen it in movies so much that our brains are like, oh, yeah, it's exactly what it would be like. But when you see them actually weightless, there's something different. Like your skin hangs differently. But they do. You'll see like people look a little different in that microgravity than they do in Earth gravity.
Good luck finding a crew. Like, making a movie is such a thing and so much to it. Like, how much could you film up there?
No idea. But NASA's tweet, which I should have had it pulled up, but they basically came out and said, like, hey, getting people interested in space is one of the things they have to do. Mm-hmm. And because a lot of people are like you, Nikki, they don't care.
No, thank you.
So getting popular, like, space stuff is something they want. It's like, yeah, we're in.
So Tom Cruise might film a movie in space.
Mission Impossible 14 in space.
In actual space.
So do you think it would just be certain parts of it?
But it's not Mission Impossible. He's just teasing with that.
It's not. Yeah, that's a joke. But
I assume some of it would have to be just in a normal studio. You could never film a full movie there.
You couldn't get the whole thing.
You couldn't get the whole thing there.
Well, that's what we're saying now. But in the future, Nikki.
I don't think so. You're like, well, there's not the same rules in space, so they don't have to follow the same rules as they would here when filming. Maybe that's the way around it.
I want my overtime, okay? Sorry, there's no overtime in space.
You're there, you're filming, and they're not going back down.
Hilarious.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki, what do you think about just canceling the summer? Have you...
No, we're going to enjoy each and every day.
Okay.
We're going to have it summer. And just wait until the heat comes in. You know? It's going to be great.
Okay. Yeah.
You'll be stuck inside and it'll be hot.
Turn that air conditioner down. That's what I'm saying. Or up, however that works.
Looking forward to it.
Make it cold. Listen, Nikki, you are the duly appointed representative of the TikTok community.
Am I? Just because I like to watch them?
Yes. And
I don't like to make them. I just like to watch them.
The only time in general I watch TikTok is when you send them to me.
I know.
Which is great because I feel like that's one last thing that I have to sort through. Nikki sends it to me. I try to
send you the bigger ones, like the ones that really will be the perfect fit for you.
Mm-hmm. So that's why, Nikki, I need you to address this. Mm-hmm. I've seen it finally. I actually let it go for a couple of days because I'm like, whatever. And then now I see it on a lot of places. The Pee Your Pants Challenge.
Oh, yeah, it's a thing.
Is it real?
Isn't it weird?
Isn't like...
I haven't seen it take off as like a real everyday person sort of thing.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of the lick the toilet seat thing.
See, that's what I feel like they've got like a
couple creators who are doing
it. Gun or something. Like they're like...
I'm sure some are doing it and some are not.
What are we doing?
Well, we're trying to get views. That's what they're doing.
But okay. Are they able to translate those views into
money?
Advertising revenue? Or are they like, is it one of those things like with Twitch where it's like road to partner? Like I'm going to, like if I get enough views and enough this, then eventually I can monetize my stream.
No, I think they're just trying to get views to hopefully take them towards a life of advertising. Probably not now. I don't see some of the bigger advertisers jumping after the influencers that are peeing their pants.
Well, like,
But
okay.
you never know.
Hanes, Fruit of the Loom,
Could be.
potentially Depends, and other adult diaper like parts of the industry.
I don't know. For influencers, people are trying to do some unique things because advertising is so down with that.
Dude, ESPN just lost so much money in advertising.
No one's
So much.
advertising because we're all at home. No one's really, like, we're buying stuff, but we're not buying stuff like from advertising. We're buying smaller little things.
This is going to depend. Like this for me, who I did buy an iPad, but like, man, my overall like money that I'm spending so much less money right now because I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So like just in general, I just am not spending any money except for like hitting a drive-through a couple times a week.
It's also hard for
And
advertisers.
even that's not that much.
Advertisers right now just can't find the right tone, too. So it's hard for some of them. They're missing the tone and they're still advertising. Depends on the product.
Have you
but-
seen that compilation where it's like all Corona ads are the same?
Yeah, with the tones.
Where it's like it's 40 commercials and they take you through it and it's like light piano. Like
Well, they
voice
had to
about
turn that
being
around
there.
because I'm sure they bought that time already.
Oh,
so
sure.
They had to make a commercial that would fit because the commercial can't show us running outside, like in gathering with friends. There's all these limitations to it.
It's true.
So I think TikTokers are like, yeah, I'll pee my pants. Sure, I'll follow this trend.
I'll do anything if you'll watch my channel. Sponsor me!
And then that might lead towards sponsorship later when that comes back around.
I just want to talk to any advertisers. I realize RadioU is commercial free, but we have people from all different industries participating in RadioU. And I just want you to know that I'm not going to take any advice at all, whether it's purchasing, life, anything advice from someone who's peeing their pants on TikTok. Like
That's a no.
They've lost all credibility with me. And you're like, why are you judging like that? I am. We found the line. I found it.
And we're not crossing over it.
I found the line. Like, I'm taking advice from a lot of people I don't know on the internet. That's the line.
This was the worst of the riot, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The riot exists because RadioU exists, and RadioU only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.
I bought a tablet, and that's stupid.